have you ever felt like you're just, talking at cross purposes with someone you really care about? Like a simple conversation just somehow spirals, becomes this weird puzzle. Think about like a road trip. One person says, "Are you thirsty?" And the other just goes, "Nope." Totally missing the hint. Right? We've all been there. It can be super perplexing.
Oh, absolutely. And what's really fascinating here, I think, is that our deep dive today into Brian Tracy's The Science of Self-Confidence, well, it helps us unpack these very common communication glitches.
Okay.
Yeah, the material actually points out that men and women often show distinctly different tendencies in lots of personal subjective ways.
Different tendencies.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
understanding these patterns, it can be a really powerful shortcut to, building better connections. And that, in turn, actually boosts your own self-confidence.
Okay, let's unpack these distinctions then.
Mm.
What are these core differences? Because sometimes it really does feel like we're operating on completely different wavelengths.
That's a great way to put it. And the source does break it down pretty clearly. It highlights these interesting general tendencies, these patterns.
Tendencies, not rules.
Precisely. So for men, the inclination is often towards, well, directness, practicality, a more linear way of thinking.
Street line thinking, got it.
Yeah. Driven partly by testosterone, the source notes, men tend to be a bit more aggressive, more competitive, and they often tie a lot of their self-concept to their jobs, their achievements.
Mm-hmm.
You can think of the type A personality as maybe an extreme example here. That driven person with a harrying sense of time urgency, kind of obsessed with work, maybe more thing-oriented than people-oriented.
Okay, I know that type.
Right. And these individuals, they typically seek closure, completion. Not having that can be really stressful for them. So their conversations often reflect that goal-oriented, focused on facts, conclusions, getting it done.
So straightforward, get it done, focus on the destination.
Yeah.
Okay, that explains quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
A lot of common frustrations I've seen or even felt.
Exactly. Now, for women, the source paints a different picture. It talks about a richer, more complex, and more interesting inner life.
Interesting. How so?
Well, they're often more aware of details, subtleties, nuances. So where men might be direct, women tend to be more indirect, subtle, maybe a bit more roundabout in their approach.
Okay.
They often seek cooperation, trying to avoid conflict, generally more emotional, intuitive, more sensitive to how others are feeling. And often their lives are kind of organized around relationships, family, friends.
More people-oriented then.
Often, yes. And crucially, unlike the male tendency to chase completion, women are frequently, as the source puts it, content to enjoy the process itself, not just rushing to the finish line.
Wow. Okay. That's a really profound observation. It shines a light on those classic scenarios, doesn't it?
It really does.
Like the driving example you mentioned. A man might just step on the gas and go faster when he finds himself on the wrong road.
Right. Focus on fixing the direction, keep moving.
While the tendency of the woman is to stop and think about where she is and where she wants to go. Or that shopping trip example. He just wants closure. Buy the thing, get out.
The smash and grab mission, as you put it.
Yeah. And she sees it as an opportunity to communicate. The browse and bond experience. Gosh, how many times have we seen that play out or argued about it?
Exactly. And think back to your intro example, the "are you thirsty" question.
Right.
She was probably indirectly signaling her thirst, hinting she wanted to stop, but he just answered the direct question, nope, and kept going, focused on the destination.
Ah, okay. So it wasn't deliberate cluelessness necessarily, just different operating system.
Potentially, yeah. Different default communication styles. And again, these aren't criticisms, just valuable insights into why those communication gaps happen so often.
Okay. This is where it gets really interesting for me. If we have these like inherent differences, these tendencies, how do we actually bridge them? The source talks about the law of reciprocity. What does that actually mean for our relationships?
The law of reciprocity. It's pretty fundamental to human interaction. Basically, whenever you do something for another person, he or she feels a sense of obligation to you.
Okay, like owing someone a favor.
Sort of, but deeper than that. The material emphasizes that smart people proactively seek out every opportunity to do things for other people in advance.
In advance.
Yeah.
So not waiting to be asked.
Exactly. Building up this kind of reservoir of goodwill. It's like sowing seeds. You give generously without necessarily expecting something back right away. And eventually you reap the benefits. And here's the really powerful part. Everything you do to raise the self-esteem of another person causes your own self-esteem to go up.
Oh, wow. So helping others feel good makes us feel good.
Precisely. It's this self-reinforcing positive feedback loop. Good for them, good for you.
So it's not just about being nice, it's about consciously creating this positive cycle. But how do we apply that in a conversation, especially when we're trying to connect despite those different styles we talked about?
Great question. That leads us right into the concept of indirect effort and this idea of the spotlight.
The spotlight.
Yeah, imagine there's this spotlight on a swivel between you and the person you're talking to. When you're talking about yourself or even just thinking about what you're going to say next, where's the spotlight?
On me, I guess.
Right. And that often makes us feel a bit self-conscious, maybe even insecure. The solution: deliberately put the spotlight on the other person.
Let's focus on them instead.
Exactly. It's about genuine interest. Dale Carnegie is quoted in the source saying something like, you can make more friends in a few minutes by becoming genuinely interested in other people than you can in a year trying to get other people to be genuinely interested in you.
Huh. That makes sense.
Everyone, deep down, needs their self-image validated. We all want to feel seen and heard. And when you provide that validation by putting the spotlight on them, people naturally warm up, they reciprocate. Friendship, connection, it flows from that genuine interest.
That's a brilliant shift in perspective. It changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it? Okay, so we have these concepts: reciprocity, the spotlight. What does this all mean for our daily interactions? What are the practical steps, the actual things we can do?
Okay, this brings us nicely to the 6 keys to building strong relationships. These are really actionable strategies straight from the science of self-confidence, and they tie directly into that law of reciprocity and putting the spotlight on others. Ready?
Lay them on me.
All right. Key number 1, agreeableness. Simple, but not always easy. Be pleasant, cheerful, positive. Actively try to avoid arguments.
Avoid arguments. But what if you disagree?
Well, the key question to ask yourself is, what's really important here? Often being right or wrong just doesn't matter that much in the grand scheme of the relationship.
Okay, choose your battles.
Exactly. And if you do need to differ, the source suggests Benjamin Franklin's approach. I could be wrong, but I had always thought it was this way. It shows flexibility, not stubbornness. Huh, that's clever. Less confrontational. Okay, what's number 2? I used to be terrible at always needing to be right, by the way. Definitely pushed people away.
Yeah, it's a common trap. Okay, second key, acceptance. Treat people as valuable and important, just as they are. Psychotherapists call it unconditional positive regard.
Unconditional positive regard. That sounds intense.
It just means valuing someone for who they are without judgment. And the simplest, most powerful tool for this.
Let me guess. The spotlight.
Close. It's even simpler. A smile.
A smile. Seriously.
Seriously. The source says whenever you smile at another person, the other person feels important. Think about it. It's immediate, universal. A powerful little tool for connection and validation.
Wow. Okay, that's an easy one to start practicing right away.
Absolutely. Third key, appreciation. Say thank you a lot. At every opportunity, the material emphasizes what gets thanked gets repeated.
Positive reinforcement.
Exactly. Cultivate an attitude of gratitude, not just for big things, but for everything. Finding a parking spot, catching a green light. Really. Even the small stuff.
Especially the small stuff. There's a powerful story mentioned about a friend who was in a North Vietnamese prison camp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he practiced gratitude daily for tiny things. And he apparently came out more mentally healthy than many others. It just shows the incredible internal impact of consciously practicing gratitude.
That's a really powerful example. Puts everyday frustrations into perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, 4th key, admiration. Give sincere compliments, not just fluff, but genuine appreciation for character traits, maybe possessions they value or accomplishments they're proud of.
Things they've invested emotion in.
Precisely. The more emotion they've invested, the more powerful that compliment will land. But, and this is crucial, always be truthful, the source warns, people are like human lie detectors. They can spot insincerity a mile away.
Right. Sincerity's key. Fake compliments probably do more harm than good.
Definitely. Okay, 5th, praise. This is slightly different from admiration. Praise is for accomplishments, big or small. Think Ken Blanchard's idea from the 1-Minute Manager, catching people doing something right.
I remember that book.
Yeah. The idea is to strategically ignore some negative behaviors, the minor stuff, while actively reinforcing the positive actions with praise. And praise from someone who is respected, that has an inordinate impact.
Okay. And how do you praise effectively?
The source gives 4 clear rules. Praise immediately. Be specific about what you're praising. Do it in public, if appropriate, that amplifies it. And do it continuously at first to build a habit or reinforce a new behavior, then maybe intermittently to maintain it.
That's super practical. Good for parenting, managing, just being a better friend or partner.
Exactly. And that leads us to the sixth key, which the source presents as important as anything else, maybe even more so.
Okay, the grand finale.
It's listening.
Listening. Okay, sounds simple, but isn't always.
It really isn't. The material points out, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we should probably try to use them in that same proportion, 2 to 1.
Huh.
Leaders apparently spend something like 50–60% of their time just listening. Think about that.
Wow. Okay, so how do we become good listeners?
Mm-hmm.
Because truly, listening, not just waiting to talk, is surprisingly hard.
It's a skill. Absolutely. And like any skill, it takes practice. The source gives some crucial steps. First, listen attentively. Use your whole body. Turn towards them, make eye contact, put away distractions. Show you're engaged.
Okay, physically engaged.
Yes. Second, listen without interruptions, and this is key. Try not to mentally prepare your response while they're still talking. Just absorb what they're saying.
Ooh, that's the hard part. My brain always wants to jump ahead.
Mine too. It takes conscious effort. Third, pause before replying. Just a brief pause. It shows you've considered what they said, and it actually helps you hear the person better and formulate a more thoughtful response.
Okay, pause. Got it.
Fourth, ask questions for clarification. Use those classic open-ended questions. What, how, who, where, when, why. The person asking the questions, remember, often subtly controls the conversation's direction, guiding it deeper.
Right, keeps the spotlight on them too.
Exactly. And finally, especially in important conversations, try paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
Before you jump in with your opinion or solution, say something like, okay, let me make sure I have this right. What you're saying seems to be this. And then summarize their point in your own words.
The repeat back technique.
Kind of, yeah. It builds immense trust. It confirms their self-worth because it shows you are truly listening and trying to understand. It makes them feel heard.
That paraphrasing technique.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels like a genuine game changer. Shows you're not just waiting for your turn.
It really is. And here's where it gets really powerful, tying back to those communication styles we discussed earlier.
Okay, connect the dots for me.
Well, Tracy highlights how, for example, men interrupting women can be a big mistake. Why? Because it devalues your self-respect. It's like the law of reciprocity working against you. You interrupt, you devalue, you damage the connection.
Ouch. Yeah.
Conversely, for men, a simple shift like coming home and genuinely asking their partner about her day first before launching into his own stuff, that can dramatically enhance the quality of the relationship. It's putting the spotlight on her right away.
Simple, but makes sense.
And for women, when sharing a problem, it helps understand that men often instinctively go into problem-solving and closure mode. Fix it. Find the solution.
Right, the get-it-done tendency.
Exactly. But often what she really wants is just an opportunity to talk, to process, not necessarily an immediate fix. So the best thing a man can often do is just listen empathetically, maybe ask something like, why do you feel that way? That shows real empathy, keeps the spotlight on her feelings.
Okay, but hang on. Isn't a lot of this just common sense, kind of repackaged? And, I mean, keeping track of all these differences and keys, it sounds like a lot of work.
That's a really fair point. And yes, some of these ideas might feel intuitive, like common sense. But the source, the science of self-confidence, really emphasizes that common sense is very rarely common practice.
Knowing versus doing.
Exactly. The real work isn't just knowing this stuff intellectually. It's the conscious, deliberate, consistent practice of these principles, especially when our old habits or instincts are pushing us the other way. That intentional effort, that's what makes it more than just repackaged wisdom. That's where the change happens.
Okay, so it's about the application.
Definitely. And regarding the differences, are they stereotypes? The source is careful to frame them as general tendencies, observations, not rigid absolutes meant to pigeonhole everyone.
Right, not putting people in boxes.
No. The goal isn't to stereotype, but to understand where potential communication friction points might exist, and then have tools to bridge those gaps. Both men and women, regardless of their individual personality, can benefit from understanding these dynamics.
So it's about awareness than intentional practice.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that clarification. It makes it feel less daunting.
Precisely. And the why bother? Why does it matter so much? Because, as the source states, your ability to succeed in your closest personal relationships affects your self-confidence in every other area of your life.
Wow. So our relationships impact everything else.
Fundamentally, it's like a foundation. When your closest relationships feel strong, secure, positive, it provides this deep sense of inner security. And that naturally translates into more optimism, a more positive attitude, more resilience everywhere else in your life. It's a huge investment in your overall happiness and peace of mind.
Okay, I completely get that. It really is foundational. So bringing this all together, all these keys, the reciprocity, the spotlight, what's the big overarching philosophy, the sort of profound truth that ties it all together?
Tracy circles back to what he calls the law of correspondence. It's a fundamental principle, really. It basically says that your outer world is merely a mirror image reflection of your inner world.
My outer world mirrors my inner world.
Yes. In essence, your relationships ultimately reflect back to you the kind of person you are internally. So instead of focusing all your energy on trying to change other people, which, let's be honest, is incredibly difficult, often impossible,
Yeah, tell me about it.
the truly powerful insight is to go to work to change yourself.
Change myself.
Yeah. By consciously working on becoming more patient, more loving, more understanding, happier within yourself, your relationships will naturally start to shift and improve around you. It's almost like magic, but it's psychology. It embodies that timeless golden rule, doesn't it? Treat others as you'd like to be treated, which starts with how you cultivate your inner state.
So the change starts inside.
That's the core message. And this commitment to self-improvement, to becoming that better version of yourself, leads directly to what the source calls the absolute requirement for happiness in any meaningful relationship. And that is commitment.
Commitment.
Okay. Real deep commitment. He quotes Charles Murray, who wrote something like, "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. But the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too."
Wow.
This deep commitment, which really has to be rooted in self-confidence, clarifies your vision. It helps you set bigger goals for the relationship and for yourself. It provides this immense inner security because you've decided, you've burned the mental bridges to doubt and hesitation. You're in.
I love that. Wow. It's simple, but
Yeah.
yeah, incredibly profound. The most powerful changes in our relationships really do start inside us. And that commitment, that's the glue. That's definitely a challenging but really empowering thought for you to mull over. If you want to dive deeper into these powerful ideas, maybe apply these keys to building stronger relationships in your own life, definitely check out the links to The Science of Self-Confidence by Brian Tracy. We'll put them in the show notes.
Absolutely. And we genuinely love to hear from you. Which of these ideas, these keys, really resonated? Or maybe how do you plan to use that spotlight idea this week? Put the focus on someone important in your life. Let us know in the comments below.